Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We'll continue our conversation and we're being joined by Vince Onyekwelu, a former British police officer. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning.
So, Mr. Onyekwelu, you heard the Army spokesperson talk about the position of the military as regards different things. Let's start from this matter of them being accused by Amnesty International of shielding the military officials, the federal government being accused of shielding military officials and insurgents. According to them, they're asking the ICC, International Criminal Court, to investigate why the federal government is not prosecuting military officials who have erred in one way or the other, or senior leaders in the insurgency. What do you take?
Obviously, it's a matter of serious concern to me as a professional. It's a matter of serious concern to Nigerians and to Nigeria as a country that international organization of repute like the ICC said such about the Nigerian army. Basically, if you will remember, in the past, Amnesty International has said similar things about the Nigerian army. And obviously, Transparency International have also said similar things about the Nigerian army. So obviously, when you have international organizations like Transparency International, you've got Amnesty International, and now you've got International Criminal Court. Honestly, with all due respect, I think it's fair for the current leadership of the Nigerian army to actually start asking themselves serious questions of what is going on. It's not enough, in my professional view, it's not enough for the Nigerian army to continuously say, oh, there is a plan of attack of calumny against them by the International Criminal Court, or say there's an attack of calumny against them by Amnesty International. Obviously, you cannot keep saying this because these organizations are outside Nigeria. These organizations have got international reputation to protect. And honestly, they have good respect across the whole country, across the whole world. So I think it's not good enough for the Nigerian army to be trying to sidestep these serious accusations. The bottom line is we need to know why there are military officers that are not brought to book, that are not brought to justice to have their days to explain to us what is going on with their abuse of power. Honestly, across Nigeria, as much as I respect the Nigerian army in the work they've been doing for us as a country, you pass through them, there are roadblocks across Nigeria, and you just get, kind of stared down, you kind of get abused, you kind of get, they do all sorts of things to you. I have an experience of one of them asking me to sit inside my car on a highway in Nigeria, to sit inside my car and wind up, switch off my engine, and I should sit inside my car. And I said to him, sorry, I wish I can do that, but for health reasons, I can't sit inside this kind of car in this kind of heat without air conditioning, without no windows all wound up. Honestly, the bottom line is the excuse of the Nigerian army is not good enough. The leadership of the Nigerian army needs to ask themselves, Nigerians are social creatures. Nigerians believe in relationship building between the Nigerian civilians and the Nigerian army. And if Nigerian society are beginning to believe if they can trust the Nigerian army information or if they should not trust it, the question comes is, can Nigerian army actually hold their hand to their heart and believe that Nigerians as a country believe the kind of information they give out? Would Nigerians say that they trust the army to protect them without any kind of abuse or suppression or intimidation? Would Nigerians say that the fight against terror is being won? So it's one thing for the Nigerian army to say things, but we as Nigerians are not saying the same thing. So the bottom line is Nigerian army leadership has to go back to the basics and ask themselves questions. Are you winning the war on terror? How can TI be against you? How can ICC be against you? How can Amnesty International be against you? How come all these organizations that are simply asking you critical questions for you to answer, rather you're trying to sidestep them and allege that they're attacking you? Attack you for what? The bottom line is something is wrong in the leadership. Something is wrong in the operation of the Nigerian army.
Okay.
Nigerian lives are being lost.
Mr. Onyekwelu,
Nigerian soldiers are being killed almost every other week. We don't even know their names. We cannot even console
Mr. Onyekwelu,
with them.
the military has
go
said,
ahead.
they said several times that announcing the names of the deceased is not in their protocol. It's the family members that need to know. The best they can do is to let us know the number of those that were killed. But let's look at this other thing. He talked about the insurgency being something that is being grappled with, but they're on top of it. Let's look at finding a solution to this insurgency. The police recently deployed 2,000 men to support the efforts of the military in the northeast. After the Metallic attack, we've heard reports of attacks here and there. What do you think is the best way to go about this matter so that the insurgency can be ended in the shortest possible time?
Honestly, I can tell you, based on what I've seen on the ground, with all due respect, I don't mean to scare Nigerians. With the current structure we have in the Nigerian Army operations and leadership, personally, with all due respect, I do not see the fight against insurgency ending anytime soonest. Let's just build that kind of resilience that we are here for the long haul. We are not talking about anything ending this year. We're not even talking about anything ending next year. Why do I say this? The structure, the training, the operation, and then the tough secrecy, everything is enshrined in that people don't even have access to information from the front lines. And even those that got information from the front lines will be asked questions. How did you manage to get that information when that area is being cordoned off from people penetrating, having access, or coming out from there? So honestly, we have to have the kind of cycle that the war against terror is not ending anytime soon, based on the structure, the operation, the strategy, the communication, and even the psychology of our beloved soldiers who are out there in the front line. The machineries they have, the resources they have, honestly, there is nothing there that can convince me, with all due respect, that we are about to get closer to the end of the war against terror.